Yes.
You off with that. That's one of the few words I know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mambo, jumbo, you know.
Niaje. Do you know Niaje?
Caribou.
Karibu.
Yeah. Karibu.
Yes.
Karibu.
Yes, yes.
You're welcome.
And you say Asante.
Asante.
Yeah.
Asante Sana, yeah.
So Karibu KUTV.
Yes.
We are very humbled and honored
No,
that you're
thank you
gracing
for
our studio
having me.
today.
Yeah.
His voice is real.
Yeah.
Wait,
as
these
you can
people
see.
can sometimes when they watch movies, they feel where there's something automated or something done. You're an actor, but the people who have no idea
Yeah.
how film is done, how the recording and the editing brings a different, character that comes with you. But when they see you on TV, they're hoping that they could see the real person without extra,
Yeah.
My voice has been like this since I was 15.
15.
15. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been crazy.
Well, yeah, you've heard it yourself. The
Yeah.
voice is real. It's real. It's real. That deep voice, it's as real as it gets. Morocco Omari.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's always good to be on the continent.
You've been around Kenya since Monday.
Since Monday.
Yeah. How are you enjoying there?
I really haven't had time to myself because it's been like, getting this workshop together,
Yeah.
doing interviews, and just getting acclimated. So I've been going, I was at Posh Palace. They took care of me, though. I got to give it up to them, man.
Wow.
Shout out to Posh Palace, man. They groomed the brother, like, got my sexy back. You know what I'm saying? I came in looking like Flavor
That's why
Flav,
you look like this.
and now I'm looking like Idris Elba's stepbrother.
Some of us thought you touched on looking like this. We didn't say that.
Yeah.
But we're good. So a lot of people are here saying, come on, we want to know more about his life. We want to know about, you just mentioned your voice was like this since you were 15. What more about you can you tell us?
Before you delve into the workshop
Well,
and
see,
why
it's
you're here.
hard to just talk about yourself. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
just feels like, I don't know.
I have something for you.
Specific?
You before you got into acting, you were in the Marine Corps.
I was in the Marine Corps, yeah.
How was that? And how was that transition?
It was a blast, man. It was like going to Disney World, fighting a war, man. No, I needed the discipline, man. I was on the wrong road, you know what I mean? I was just out fighting and drinking and partying and chasing women, you know what I'm saying?
You don't do that anymore?
No, not at all. Absolutely not. What time is it? No, I'm just kidding.
What time is it?
And I wanted to play professional football, American football.
Yeah.
I got kicked off the team for fighting, and and I was just going down the wrong road. And a theater professor said, I want to see you after class. And I was like, all right, cool. And she said, what are you going to do with your life? You have potential but no discipline. I said, I'm going to the Marine Corps. And I went to the Marine Corps. Same year I went in February. I was in Saudi Arabia by December. So same year I went in, I was preparing to fight a war. So, yeah.
Wow,
That gave you the discipline that you...
Yeah, the Marines gonna give you some discipline, brother. There's no discipline like the Marine Corps, I'm gonna tell you. One incident, like right before graduation, we had to stand at attention or parade rest, and the colonel had to go down the line and do an inspection. So you had to, pull your rifle up, boom, and he takes it and inspects it and inspects your uniform. So it's 4 squads. I was in the 4th squad. I was the 4th squad leader. So he has to go through the 1st squad, 2nd squad, 3rd squad, 4th squad. And I'm the Marine Corps Blues with the hat, down. Yeah. And I'm there, and it was a spider spinning a web from my hat to my nose, and he was just, and I couldn't move. I couldn't even do that. No, not at all. You couldn't do it, because if you do, they're gonna they're gonna catch you. You know what I'm saying? So I just stood there, And when the colonel came in, he looked at me, he wiped it away. He's like, you've been standing here a long time, Marine. I was like, sir, yes, sir. He just wiped it away. It was crazy. Yeah. So that's the kind of discipline you got to have.
Wow.
Yeah. If a rat runs over your foot while you're in the fighting hole, you can't move, man, until it kills yourself.
I was just going to say that has impacted also your life since then. Discipline has continued to grow with you.
Yeah, definitely. You live with it. I still wake up early. I go to the gym in the morning. And, it's a regiment that you develop a habit. And it's a good habit to have. You say never say die. Mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter. So you just keep pushing. You know what I'm saying?
think I've got a mantra for the day.
I'm just gonna,
If
not
you
even
don't,
for the day,
yeah, the whole year.
Should know this is the first show
Yeah.
in this year, and that takes me down to film. I'm sorry, I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to cross over
the
to film.
transition now,
Yeah.
the transition
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the Marine Corps into acting. You
Yeah.
started, you started in theater
Yes.
before you transitioned into now film.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
How was
yeah.
that transition?
Yeah.
I was horrible.
Wow.
I was.
Yeah, I don't
You know,
think- I
no,
don't
I mean,
like-
you know, because when you're doing theater, you're projecting your voice. You're bigger, you know. And then when I was going in on TV and film roles, I'd come in and fill up, you know, they're casting the record. You know, you're like, oh, you know, yeah, it's just too big for that camera.
Yeah.
You know, so I had to learn to internalize and minimize my movement and be conversational instead of like, let me project and hit the back row. You know, so it's one of those things which you have to learn.
It's something very important that I know
Yeah.
all actors would want to hear from you.
Yes.
Is the belief that there's some nuance in acting in theater than in film. Is that immediate response from the audience? What is that difference?
Well, yeah, you know, theater, you're going to get that immediate feedback.
Yeah.
You're going to get that immediate feedback, and it's nothing like it, you know, because you can feel the audience. You know when you're good, and you know when you are horrible. You know what I'm saying? But with film, like I just shot a film called 17 Bridges with Chadwick Boseman, the brother who played Black Panther. Yeah, we just wrapped that in November. It'll be out in July. You feel like you know, I felt like I told the truth in a moment, but until I see it, I won't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you won't get that feedback. We shot it, and what is it? 8 months later, we'll get to see the film. So we don't know. Even with TV, you know, doing Empire, you just like, okay, I feel like I'm, you know, in the moment, telling the truth, and you know, being as slimy as possible. But until you see it,
And you pulled it off.
Yeah, you did. You
You
were
pulled it
so
off.
good.
Thank you.
I think that's one of the films a
Yeah.
lot of us cannot. I think I could watch that over and over again because it became so real. It's so epic.
Yeah.
And when you were in the workshop, I think you mentioned that acting is emotion.
oh, well,
It's a muscle.
it's a muscle that needs to be exercised.
You
Of
would
course.
want to touch that more on that. Just give us more in
Well,
depth.
you know, I think acting is one of the most disrespected art forms. That singing, you know, being a musician or something. You know, people wake up and say, "I'm an actor. I want to be an actor." You know, I have a lot of followers, or you know what I'm saying? Or people think everybody says you know, I'm funny, you know, and they just try to just dive on in without the training, you know. And yeah, you might get a job or two, but there's a difference between having a job and having a career. You know what I'm saying? So a job is like a couple of jobs, and then you're gone. You're dead. That's it. Your career's done. But you know, a career is something that you sustain for, you know, as long as you want to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Something that Anki has wanted to ask you for the longest time.
For me.
How you get into character. I was watching something, and you were, of course, acting with Grace, who acted Anika.
yeah,
And she was scared of you. I could see it in her eyes.
Yeah.
She was really scared.
Yeah.
When you walked in, you had a smile on your face, and it was like, that is not the guy who acted Tariq.
Yeah.
Definitely not the guy. But you are able to get into character. One thing, how do you do that? And does that seep into your personal life?
So naturally.
Yes.
Yeah.
That when I watch that movie, if I watch behind the scenes, I'm like, this could not be
Right.
something that has been acted.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I would have to credit years of Chicago, being a theater artist in Chicago and just learning how to put on different characters and create a character, you know, because different characters sit different ways. You know what I'm saying? When, you know, like, okay, I can be here. You know what I'm saying? I can be here. You know, and it's just depending on what the character is and what it entails. You know, so for me, it's second nature because I've been doing it for so long. You know, 2 decades now. And yeah, man, cool out.
Yeah, thank you.
But so I was very, you know, as actors, as I was telling them in the workshop, you have to be very specific on who this character is, who this person is, what he eats, what is his day like. And if you do all that homework of his education, if he's married, if he's single, if he wears boxers or briefs, is he, you know what I'm saying? Seriously, because a suit will make you walk differently than a pair of jeans and sneakers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what does this person wear? What does he do? What kind of music he listens to? Because different music will get you into different moods. So you have to understand, if you're gonna break it down, you're like a mad scientist. If you really want to do the craft and say, okay, this is what I want to do, and you're just like, okay, boom, 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 and boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? And this is how I'm gonna attack each one. And then I'm doing the homework of who Cookie is and who Lucius is. And because he's an FBI agent, you have to do that background. You're like, okay, this is how she's gonna attack me. And if she goes hot, and if you think of it as music, and Cookie is like, boom, she's really high with it. She's like a trumpet. She's gonna be, boom, boom, boom. So I'm gonna come under with the bass.
Nice.
I'm gonna be the bass line. And then, Terrence has this, this cool saxophone kind of voice. And if he comes with that saxophone, then I might hit him with a djembe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, or we take on these different animals. How does he move? Does he move like a tiger? Does he pounce? Or is he a lion? Or is he a hyena? So it's like, or is he a mongoose? You watch characters, and you're just like, you watch a Jeffrey Wright, and you're just like, oh, he's a mongoose in this. You know what I'm saying? So as actors or artists, we want to take the shape of water. Whatever I pour you in, you become that shape. You know what I'm saying? You're a cup. You become the shape of a cup or a bowl, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
All right, now, you know what, guys, that's really deep, and a lot of you guys are feeling like it's gonna get deeper. He is deep. He has been in this for decades, and I know those who are watching are thinking, yes, that's why your film has probably not been selling, because you just want to jump into character. You don't study, you don't research. Film is just not, taking a pen and scribbling. It's more internalized, and that's what I'm getting from this. So we're just going to take a short break. And when we take this short break, we're going to highlight some Kenyan American film actors, who are doing so well out there. We celebrate them. But we usually ask ourselves, then why don't they come back home and make us look as good as they look out there? Eddie Gadengi, for example. Gadengi. Why did you do that?
Come on. That's like
I know, right?
calling people out. It's like, why you don't come back home, bro?
Why can't you come home, bro?
Yeah.
What do you do? Eddie Gadengi. Let's just see that one, and then we're going to come back and just going to call out someone else.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I went to my... This one's just a boy.
Give to you.
It looks nice. Take the right. Let's go. It was my duty to fight for what I love.
Okay. Yeah. He's still watching. He's like, okay. Wakanda forever. But that is Lupita. Yeah. You do know she's Kenyan, right?
Oh, yeah.
She's doing well out there. Right?
Oh, yeah, she is.
You guys appreciate her job out there as well?
Of course.
Have you asked her to come home?
That's not my job,
You can tell her, we watched your film back in Kenya. You came here today to share your knowledge.
Well, here's the thing, and I don't know what Lupita does behind the scenes. I really don't.
Yeah.
I think she's an incredible artist, and hopefully she will come back home and do more, along with other actors. But the way, unfortunately, it's structured in Hollywood, it's like we have a brand.
Okay.
So if Lupita's doing Black Panther and doing these Hollywood blockbusters, to go back home and be in a film that isn't as such, or her agents don't think will keep her brand, because you work so hard to get to a certain point. You know what I'm saying? And get to this point and to get to that point. And I mean, being an African-American actor, you have to be 3 times as good as your counterparts, you know, a lot of times. So their agents, these bigger agencies like the William Morrises and the CAAs and the ICMs, they handle, that's the handler.
Okay.
They say, okay, they get scripts, Lupita gets scripts every day. And they say, okay, well, who's attached to this script and who's, okay, how does this put you in this category? How does it put you in this category? It's such a political machine and business machine. So whatever Lupita, you know, and I'm sure, you know, because she's working with a lot of incredible artists, man, who are doing things. You know, the sister who played the other warrior, who's from, where's she from? Zimbabwe. Playwright as well as an actress who's very incredible, who does a lot of stuff for Zimbabwe. So I really can't like say, yo, y'all need to come home and do some work and put yourselves in some movies, man. But, you know, I think it's Boris Kodjoe took like 40 actors to Ghana just recently.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what you guys have to understand over here, that the media puts a very bad portrayal of Africa that, you know, it scares a lot of people. I'm not saying Lupita because, of course, she's been here, but a lot of other actors are like, so what do they eat? Yeah, I'm serious, brother. What you eat while you're there? I'm like, what? You're not scared? I'm like, brother, I'm from Chicago. There's like 400 or 500 people that was shot in the summertime. What are you talking about? You know, and it's like, no, I'm not scared. And you feel like your walk is your walk. If it's your time to go, it's your time to go. You know, I can be in Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, whatever, or Chicago, and you know, anything can happen.
Yeah,
but I can't walk around in fear like, oh my God, I might die if I go. You know what I'm saying? You know, yeah, it's like, what is wrong with you? But I do have 2 actors meeting me in Uganda. I leave here and go to Uganda to produce a TV pilot there, and I got 2 brothers meet me, and that's their first time on the continent. Yeah, so I'm doing my part as far as like, you know, this year 2 people, next year 20, the year after that 200. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just bringing them back and just like, you know, the more they see it, then, you know, the more they see my post and I bring people, then the more they're interested in coming back.
Something very important that
Yeah.
I want to ask you is, what is this drive that drives you to invest so much in Africa, which we appreciate, by the way?
Yeah.
You've been here in Africa severally. You've been to Rwanda, you've been to Uganda, you've been to South Africa.
Kenya 3 times.
Kenya 3 times now.
15 countries so far.
Yeah, in Africa.
Yeah.
What is this drive that really drives you to come here, give these wonderful workshops? You have been able to trace your ancestry, your roots to Africa. Not many African Americans can actually do that. So what is that
you
drive?
want the long answer or the short answer?
Short answer.
It's one of those things. It's a question. You says what drives me to invest in Africa. It's like, why wouldn't I?
Nice.
You know, it's more the question. Why don't we? You know what I'm saying? As you know, people from African descent. You know what I'm saying? I am the first one in 7 generations to return home. You know what I'm saying? My mom hasn't been. My dad hasn't been, my grandparents haven't been, my great-grandparents haven't been, great, since we were stolen and kidnapped. So I'm the first one to return, you know what I mean? And hopefully that means something to the ancestors and to the spirits and, you know, and I feel like we have to celebrate our culture because too many times we've been brainwashed to go to Europe and, you know, and, oh, wow, look at Europe, you know? And it's like, oh, you're celebrating someone who indirectly enslaved you instead of going home to where you're from and celebrating where you are from. And hopefully my grandparents and great-grandparents and so on and so forth are smiling down and saying, thank you, because we weren't able to get back. We weren't allowed to go back. And then, you know, the recent ones are afraid to go back because we've been so disconnected. You know what I'm saying? So when you know better, you do better. And it's like, you know, I grew up, Muhammad Ali was my hero, the people's champ. And you saw him walking with the people. You know what I mean? Yes. And he said, I'm the greatest of all time. It wasn't that, you know, the people make you great. The love make you great. That love, man, is undeniable. You know what I'm saying? And the humanity when I come to the motherland is undeniable. There's nothing like it in the world. You will never feel this kind of freedom being a black man or a black woman anywhere in the world.
Oh man, I'm just gonna make that.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna cruise over to all the Kenyans who just want to go abroad and make their lives out there. We have a lot of people who are like, I need to get my visa so fast. I don't want to be in this country because I'm gonna excel out there.
Yeah.
Guess what? You have the opportunity to make a difference right here. I'm talking to you.
Oh.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
What? Why? Okay, fine. That's a story for
Shots
another day.
fired.
I know. I don't know why she's throwing shade here. Something else, though.
Yes, sir.
And it's something that I'm going to put you on the spot right now.
Okay,
Oh,
go
wow.
ahead.
When you did your audition tape for Empire,
Yes, sir.
you added, some spices
Sure.
to put you on the edge,
Sure.
to give you an edge.
Sure.
And one of those things was you did an accent.
Yeah.
You mentioned a patois accent.
Yeah.
Can
Jamaican.
we hear that?
I mean, it was.
He's gonna do it live, right?
He just put me on the spot, man.
Yeah.
But it was like, I mean, instead of saying brother, I said brethren. Brethren, why I going, why? You know what I'm saying? So it was just like I changed up a few of the dialogue because Empire takes place in New York. New York is a melting pot of Haitians, Jamaicans, Dominicans. Like, what up, I had a scene where Yazzie got cut, but I came out. I was like, Hakeem Lyon, how you doing, Poppy? And it was just like, we fall in and out of accents in everyday life in New York. You know what I mean? So, I just had fun with the audition because I felt like I have nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And everybody, as actors, we have to take a chance because a lot of times you get dialogue and you're like, well, this is pretty straightforward. Everybody's going to come in and say this, but what makes you compelling? What makes you stand out? What makes a person lean in? When you watch a movie, you're just like. When I first saw Idris Elba on The Wire, I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, you just you have to find those little spots where you can say, let me add a little bit of. Cayenne pepper, or, some jollof rice here. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
You know your African food. You know your African foods, yeah?
he
Which is a good thing. So accents for actors, is it something that would put you, give you an edge?
Of course.
Yeah.
Because you
You're
figure
an actor.
if you only have a Kenyan accent, what are you going to play?
Just
Kenyans.
Kenyan.
That's
All
it.
right.
How many Kenyan roles are offered in Hollywood? How many Kenyan movies are they shooting? So if you're only doing one accent, then you limit yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have access of YouTube. You can learn an American accent. You can learn a Ugandan accent. You can learn a South African accent. You know what I'm saying? There's so many European accent. You can learn so many. You just say 20 minutes a day for 1 week. I'm gonna focus on this.
Nice.
Because when I saw Idris on The Wire, I didn't know he was from Europe. He had an American. He had a Baltimore accent. And I was like, okay. And then I heard him talking. I was like, oh, okay. He came over with it. And you have to if you want to work in in America. Because I had a brother. I don't know if you know the film from South Africa called Tsotsi. It won an Academy Award probably 10 years ago. And the lead, Presley, incredible actor, hooked up with him when I was in Joburg. And I said, what happened, brother? What happened after Tsotsi? Well, I'm like, you should have been banged. You should have been. He's like, I couldn't get rid of the accent. So I was in LA, but I couldn't get rid of it. And his accent is really thick because he's not from the city. He's from, rural area. His is real thick. You have to lean in and like, oh, what are you saying? Okay, cool. But yeah,
So kind of limit him.
Yeah, it limits you.
All right.
You know?
So I hope guys are following this. If you're not going to have a chance to be at the workshop because this is the last day.
This is the last day in
You
Kenya.
didn't have a chance to be there yesterday. I hope that this particular show here is giving you, some insights on being a better actor on stage or in films.
Yeah. But you're also doing, the workshop is also about acting and directing.
Let me make this a little interesting. You see, my co-host here heads so much into what you're saying until he forgets that he has this to hold.
The workshop is acting and directing.
Yeah.
So maybe mention something very short about directing. And also, are you working on something for Kenya? Are you maybe writing a script for us to collaborate with you guys in America or collaborate amongst us in Africa? What is it that you're doing?
So you put me on the spot right there. Well, I have my directors in the workshop, and they're like my extra set of eyes because a lot of times, directors, they get the actors and they're just like, act. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But they don't understand our process. Yeah. So I would refer to them during the workshop of like, okay, how would you direct this scene or what worked? You know what I'm saying? So they can see they're on the ground. They're like an extra set of eyes or a fly on the wall watching you know, the intimate details of how actors work and how we get down, you know. As far as your second question, that was another reason I came to Kenya to do some location scouting. A friend of mine, Mature, he teaches here as well. He wrote this movie called Marathon Boy. It's about a young kid who wants to be a marathon runner. You know, the marathoners come out of Kenya, and Ethiopia. And I read the script. I met him at a film festival years ago in America, and I was like, bro, what happened to that script, man? You know, and I was like, well, I'll be in Kenya because I have to go to Uganda. I'll come there for a week. Let's do some location scouting. Let's meet some actors and see what we can do. So, but unfortunately, he's out of town. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a beautiful script, and I hope we shoot that within next year.
Wow, beautiful. Beautiful.
That's really nice. So I'm just gonna ask this because I'm a fan of Moana. That's animation. Have you heard of Moana?
No.
Maui.
Moana.
Oh, so you don't really watch animation?
Yeah. With
and The Rock.
Yeah.
And he really pulled that Maui person, the character.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I think he even sung, right?
Yeah.
Are you planning? Are you done any voiceovers? Are you gonna feature in any animations? Are you thinking about it? I mean, we would.
I do voiceovers. I haven't broken into the animation yet.
Okay, but
like I've done Budweiser, McDonald's, Powerade, just different, you know, over 50 voiceovers, and we even did the Bible. I was a few characters in the Bible, a lot of celebrities, and we were doing the Bible and all that stuff. They wanted me to play God, but they were like,
because your voice.
But they got somebody bigger at the time. I was just like, this was like 15 years ago, and I was living in LA. They were like, we should play God, but we need, you know, Morgan Freeman or somebody. I don't know who they got, but yeah, man, you know. Yeah.
It's really interesting. It would be nice to hear you, you know, have that voice behind the animation and be like, wait, that's Morocco?
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
soon,
just
though.
Soon, yeah?
That's what we're working towards, doing animation. That's a good gig.
Wow.
My 9-year-old booked the animation. She's doing Bubble Guppies.
Ooh.
She's got 27 episodes.
It's in the family.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you guys didn't know, please just clarify to our audience that you are a father.
Oh, yeah. I have 2 daughters, man.
Beautiful.
And they stay in my pocket. I'm like a walking ATM machine. My name is Barclay.
Yeah, comes with the job.
Right.
I know we're running out of time, and of course we have to, you know, wind up. But what's your favorite dish? What would you like to eat most?
Oh, man.
Do you like to snack?
Yeah, I think you guys call it crisps, so it's chips. We call it potato chips.
Potato chips.
But I stay away from them now. I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But, yeah, I guess that's the first thing that came to mind, you know. But I'm, like, as far as food, I'm all over the place as far as, like, you know, my palate. Yeah.
People see a lot of serious sides of you, but now
Right.
they have known something interesting about you. So, guys,
Something fun.
something fun.
Yeah.
This was just supposed to be a whole show because there's a lot more want to ask. A lot of guys have questions back at home, but I guess it's gonna have to be
For another day, maybe.
another day.
We're going to-
Next time I
we're
come
going to
back.
talk about that.
Yeah.
Some other day we're going to continue this interview because there's a lot we want to ask you. But just something from the audience. Someone is asking what are the opportunities for Kenyans or Africans to make it in Hollywood? What?
Well, I just told the workshop yesterday, be so good that they cannot deny you.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And that's the best way. You know, you have to believe in yourself, and you have to work hard at your craft.
Yeah.
You know, and you be careful what you ask for because everybody thinks, oh, I want to be in Hollywood and I want to be famous.
Exactly.
And don't understand what that entails. Because being famous, you can be sitting down just trying to eat a meal and people got cameras in your face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things that goes with fame. We only see part of it. You know what I mean? I would rather be, you know, wealthy and, you know, anonymous than famous. And, you know, trying to get a job. So it's like, can't even go in to the bathroom without somebody bothering you. Like,
one thing I admire about Morocco Omari is that the wisdom that comes with everything that he says. I'm just going to mention two that I'm going to take home. I don't know if you will as well or you will. You know better, you do better.
yeah.
You know, that he said. And of course, be careful what you ask for. And sometimes you just ask for a lot of things. You do not know what responsibility comes with it.
Yeah.
So we're really glad you came.
Yeah, we're very happy. My director is screaming in my ear. Time is up. Before we wind up, though, guys want to know your social media handles, if they can follow you on Instagram, on Twitter, and Facebook. And now that you have co-starred with so many people, Taraji Henson, Terrence Howard, I love Grace, who played Anika.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
is
Just mention
pretty,
that.
Yeah, she's beautiful.
and she's married.
Right.
but along other big stars that you've co-starred.
Yeah.
Have you done something with Denzel Washington?
No, you know, Denzel gave me money to produce my first film. He did. Called The Mel Groupie. You can see that on YouTube, but he wrote a check for it. And Denzel is one of those brothers who is Denzel. He's like, all right, I'll watch the movie. I'll watch the movie, all right.
That's that's the face he wears a lot of times. Yeah.
You nailed that.
No,
Exactly.
That's Denzel, man, and Denzel will, and you gotta stand your ground against him because he will try to take your power. He will try to take your power. He's like Training Day without the guns.
Ooh.
He's that dude. He will come at you, and you're just like, all right, okay, brother, you know. So yeah.
Please bring him to Kenya.
And I
Please
think what you have actually proven to me, you've proved to me that I wanted to ask is that some of these things that we see in your characters is actually who you are. You part of you is the empire guy that we see, even here, right?
We have facets of our that we use part of ourselves in different characters, and we take on different. You know what I'm saying? We take on different roles. Yes.
And just to close, Denzel, I love Denzel, and of course when he acted The Fences, what you said about him is what we see in The Fences.
Yeah.
The Fences.
Because I like you. Because I like. Okay, we're just gonna end the show like that, guys.
Thank you very much for coming through. Social media handles.
Yes.
Instagram mo.rocc.o. Twitter is Rock Omari 1, and Facebook is Morocco Omari. It's like the fan page is Morocco Omari.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you guys have enjoyed yourself as much as I have. It's been mind-blowing. I think we need a couple of minutes to catch a breath and to catch up with Mr.
And to
Omari.
teach him the Odi dance.
Yes.
So
we're going to let DJ Bows do his, DJ Jesh do his thing.
So guys, you do know that Entertainment Friday will only give you the best, and that's what you have seen right here. Good morning. We'll be right back.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it.